Welcome everyone to today's Yin Yang Yoga practice. If we have not had the chance to meet face to face, my name is Helena. I'm the owner of In Fine Feather Yoga, and I am very grateful for your presence joining me for class. We've started our practice off today lying on the back. You might want to allow the feet to go a bit wider to the outer edges of your mat, your toes really rocking off to the side, maybe even give the legs a little shake. The arms can stretch out by your sides, loop the shoulders down your back, feel a sensation of the heart center being open. Close the eyes if you feel comfortable, closing them and softening the space behind the eyes. To help bring some ease through all the muscles of the face. And allow for a full breath in. And an open mouth, sigh, breath out. And go again, deep breath in. Open your mouth, allow the breath to soften out. And then if it feels natural, deepen your breath without it being forced. Just through your mind's eye, shift your awareness into the pace of your inhale and the pace of your exhale. Trying to create a steadiness in the length, inviting the breath to be smooth. And do this maybe for 8 or 9 rounds, getting a little deeper into the body. Being able to sense a breath that starts to travel into the collarbones, down through your arm bones. A breath that expands into your belly, all the way down into the pelvic bowl. In our Yin Yang style of class, knowing that the first portion of our practice will be engaging, heating, and possibly even at some points a little bit challenging for the body. But I'd like you to show up with the intention that you have something to fight for. That your body is strong. Our minds are resilient, and if we can get the body and mind to work together, perhaps that effort or that challenge won't be so demanding or difficult. And the same intention will guide us through the second portion of our practice when we move into Yin and we slow down and we ask the body to be still. And being still can be uncomfortable. It even feels foreign. Sometimes our bodies like to move. They like to engage. They like to go forward. So sometimes being still, we might feel a little bit stuck. But saying that there's an intention behind it, space behind it, where we can learn more about ourselves. See things, feel things, and sense things on a deeper level when we're not so stimulated. And that being the intention that there's something to fight for. Right now, thinking about our Yang practice of what we need to take action for in our lives. Let that be some fuel for a heated practice. And then when we slow down and are asked to be still, same thing, what do we need to dive a little deeper for within ourselves and fight for ourselves? Be reminded of your resiliency. And the strength when body and mind can come together. Take 5 more deep breaths. And as you become familiar with this deeper style of breathing, can you even hear the sound of the breath through the back of your throat? And anytime your mind gets disconnected from your body and the mind wanders off, or maybe the mind has some sort of dialogue or story to tell your body, shift back inwards, take a deep breath, and remind yourself of what you need to fight for right now. And then start to move a little, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Flutter your eyes, let in some light. Let your movements get a bit bigger and a bit bigger until you bend your knees. And draw your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a big hug. Massaging the back body, rock side to side. Circle the knees around to the right and into the left 3 times. And then when the knees come back to center, move them the opposite direction. Knees to center. Take the knees out wide to open the hips, and then draw your knees back together. Knees opening wide, hips open. Close the knees back together. Massage through the hip sockets. Do this one more time. Taking the knees out, hugging them back in. Then round your spine, nose towards knees, becoming this tiny little ball, using strength from the core to help lift you up. And if it's okay through the back body, swing your legs back, swing them forward. Maybe start rocking and rolling along the full length of your spine, enough to get you some momentum to come forward, cross your ankles, and pull yourself through to table. And you can always swing your legs around. We come to hands and knees. And there's lots of space between your fingers, and watch that the index finger isn't turning in, even slightly turn the palms maybe 5 degrees out. We activate the hands by pressing them into the earth. Flip your toes, hover your knees an inch away from your mat. And then really slowly, keep the deep bend through your knees. Start to press your belly back towards your thighs. And feel your hips lift. Breathe in. Come back forward. Hover your knees that inch from the earth. Breathe out. Good. Pull your hips back. Belly to thighs. Come back forward. Hover your knees. Good. One more time, lifting up. Coming forward, soften your knees down. And then soften through the hands, hips to heels, child's pose, rest. And simply take a moment to notice the engagement in your body. To notice maybe some heat that's been generated. A sensation of starting to feel more active and stimulated. Let's keep building on that sensation. Come back forward into your hands. Knees come back under your hips. Grip through the fingertips. Lift the knees. And this time we'll go all the way back into downward dog. So the offering to straighten the legs out a little bit more. Pedal out your feet. Get the breath moving through the body. The breath is a good way. It's a useful tool for keeping mind-body connected. Inhale, exhale, send hips back a little further.
And then walk, step, or hop to the top of your space. Slide your hands up onto your shins and flatten your back to lift your heart up. Bow back forward, release the head, shake your head out, yes or no. Press down actively through your feet, root down, rise up, sweep your arms, get tall. Pull your hands into heart center. Release your hands down by your sides. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Watch through the base of your feet. Second toe faces forward. Actively root them down as you peel your chest up. You're standing with a sense of attention and intention with yourself. That through the challenge, through the effort, we'll be reminded of our purpose, and perhaps what we're fighting for right now. What we will be resilient for. Sweep the arms high, breathe in, get tall. Big dive forward, drop the head, let it go. Hands to shins, flat back, lifted heart, shoulders roll down the back. Bend your knees, plant your palms, step your feet into plank. Bring your big toes together in plank position. And I'll offer you a lot of variations in today's class. Be sure that you're doing the one that feels most appropriate and best for your body. Either stay right here with knees lifted or knees lowered. For the challenge, take your heels, pivot them towards the right side of your mat. Maybe the hips dip down a little bit. Come back to center. Roll to the razor edge of your left foot. Hips may be dipping down a bit. Lift back up to center. Inhale. Lower through your push-up with control. Exhale. Pointed toes, and then slide the thumbs back a bit so you can feel your low ribs. Lift your chest up. Halfway press up, optional, all the way upward dog. Hips move back in space, flip your toes, downward facing dog, full breath out. Then still move if the body's still waking up. Let it be fluid. Little bounce or bend through the backs of your legs so they're not locked out. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward. Step, walk, or hop to the top of your space. Halfway to lift, heart and chest open. Bow back forward, melting the head. Rise up to stand, inhale. Pull your hands through heart center. Activate that space between your hands. Pressing them together firmly. And floating the arms high. Hinge forward, bow. Half back, lifted heart. Bend knees, plant palms, guide your feet to the back of your mat. And again, those same variations for your plank. Knees lowered or lifted, big toes together. Heels pivot towards the right side, hips can dip down, and then lift them back up. Moving left, hips can dip down, lift them back up. High plank, chaturanga push-up, chest comes down. Cobra or upward dog. Press through the feet, so if your knees maybe lift, the pelvis lifts. Exhale, move back in space. Downward facing dog. Meet there. Take an audible breath, so in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Float your right leg high behind you. Draw your right knee in towards your chest, hug it in, squeeze it in, and then flick your foot through. Right knee is stacked on top of the ankle, maybe inch the foot a little farther forward. Tented fingers, lift your torso, crescent lunge. Hips square to the short edge of your mat, arms reaching high. Deep breath. And then take your hands to prayer. Loop your shoulders down the back. Get a little bounce or bend through the back knee. For some momentum, lean forward, swing your left leg through, left knee to chest, and then take the left leg, wrap it over the right, sit back and down as if a chair was behind you, and squeezing your inner thighs together, eagle legs. Left toes can even be a bit of a kickstand on the earth if the balance is off today. Then again, activate that space between your palms. Feel everything wrapping into center. Even as we get a little heated, can you sink down a little bit deeper? Left knee comes back up to the chest. Take your left toes, reach them back, touch them down. Float your arms, open the heart, lift your gaze. And then bow the body forward, plant your hands, stepping into our plank. Our variations to rock to the razor edge of right foot. Dip the hips, lift them up. Switch towards the left. We're trying to activate those side obliques, or simply just hold your plank. You can always stay there and skip that part. Knees can lower, come down through your push-up, chest, belly, thighs together. Cobra or upward dog. Keep the neck relaxed. Try not to crank the head back. Hips move back in space, toes flip. Downward dog, exhale, empty. Hear the sound of your breath. Breath and body and mind moving together. Float your left leg high behind. So really straighten out through the back of the knee and kick into your heel. The leg is active. Knee to chest, rock forward, and then flicker step your foot through. Widen the base between your feet. Keep the back knee straight. Lift your heart, lift your torso, crescent lunge, sweep the arms high. And the hands can always move out into a wider V if you're maybe trying to release tension through the shoulders, through the neck. One more breath. Hands to prayer. Right in heart center. Even lift your heart up into your thumbs. A little bounce or bend through the back leg. Lean forward. And then drag the right toes forward. Lift your knee up and towards your chest. Try not to lean back. Keep the shoulders right over your hips. Right leg wraps over left. Left knee bends. Inner thighs hugging towards one another. Keep your gaze fixed on one point to help you steady the balance. And then regulate your breath. The right knee comes back up. Get taller. Sweep your right toes back. Catch yourself land. Arms sweep high. Gaze can follow. Hands go down. Frame your foot. Plank position. Dipping towards the right side. Back through center. The option to dip left. Through center, high plank. Knees can lower. Chaturanga Dandasana, lower your way down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale to downward dog and acknowledge here, if downward dog does not feel restful, maybe you need a moment to sip water. Perhaps taking child's pose, this is your pace, your practice. And keep honoring the way in which you can move where mind and body and breath are together. So one's not working against the other. When you're ready, from child's pose, come back to down dog. Lift your heels, look forward, bend your knees, step, walk, or hop, top of your space. Flatten the back, lift your heart. Bow back in, belly to thighs, deep bend in your knees. Rise up, inhale. Then give your arms a good shake out. Let them go. Take a peek at the base of your feet. Second toe forward. You want the feet under your hips, the inner edge rather than the outer edge of your hips. And then sweep your arms out into a T position. Wrap the right arm under your left. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe even hold that little extra squeeze for a minute. When was the last time you got a hug? And then maybe staying here, or if you're ready for full eagle arms, keep the twist tie with the elbows, backs of the hands come to touch. Eventually taking your palms. Start to lift up through the right heel. Lift up the right toes, the right knee. Taking right, wrap it over left, roll the inner thighs together, find the full expression of eagle, sit back and down. Right toes can be a kickstand for, again, better balance. One day taking the deeper expression, seeing if you can wrap the right foot behind the left calf. One more breath, everything squeezing into center. Keep the arms, lift your right knee, and see if you can catch yourself at the back of your mat, touch your toes down. You can always heel toe the right foot back a little farther, crescent lunge with eagle arms, lift the elbows. Hear your breath, and then slowly release the arms, let's float them up. Pivot your back heel down, warrior two. So you change the angle of the pelvis for the hips to be open. The razor edge of your right foot is in line with the razor edge of your mat as you lunge forward through the front leg and sweep your arms. Hold for 3. Regulate the breath for 2. Last one. Beautiful, everyone looks strong. Turn your palms to the sky. Exalt your warrior. Left hand sweeps up. Let the right hand soften down your back leg. Cartwheel the hands all the way down. Frame your front foot. Step your left foot back to meet the right. And determine if you'd like to move through that sequence of our vinyasa, dipping the right and left hip, taking chaturanga push-up, or if you prefer to go right back to downward dog. Your practice, your pace. What keeps body and mind working together? Then really empty out on your next exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward, walk, step or hop, top of your space. Lift out of the heart. Flatten the back. And bow back in. Strong legs to stand, rise up, gaze up. Arms shake out. Let it go. Adjust your feet if you need to. And spread your toes. If you know you tend to lock out through the backs of your legs, find that little micro bend or bounce so the legs are engaged. Arms sweep out to a T. Opening through your chest. Left arm hugs under right. Good, so we don't want the shoulders popping up towards the ears. Work the expression backs of the hands or twist time for palms to touch. Try to keep the hands centered to your face. And then just engage a little through the core, so belly button hugs in towards the spine. Supporting the core, lift your left heel. Lift your left toes. The knee comes up towards the chest and then wraps over the right. Finding kickstands through left toes or working to bind and wrap the left foot behind your right calf. Keep your focus, keep your gaze, and steady your breath. Arms stay as they are. Then shoot up through the right leg. Sweep your left toes back. Even if it's a short stance to start, you can heel toe it back a little further. Arms reach away from the face. Beautiful expressions. And slowly release the arms, sweep them up. Beautiful. Back heel down, warrior two. Right leg in front, left leg behind. Level through the pelvis. Fingertips in line with the shoulders so it doesn't hurt to look back. Sometimes the back arm has a mind of its own. Body, mind, and breath together. Hold your warrior. 2 more cycles. What do you have to fight for right now? Rotate palms up. Exalt your warrior. Right hand to the sky. Look towards the inner arm if that's okay through the neck. Keep the bend through the front leg. Ground your hands down. Frame your foot. Zip the legs together. Plank. Pause for the moment to take that quick inventory. Are you moving right hip to dip? Left hip to dip. High to low push up. We meet in downward dog. Lifting your heels, gaze forward, power the legs, bend your knees, walk or hop, top of your space. Halfway lift, chest opens. Bow back in, belly to thighs. Strong legs to stand, inhale. Arms shake out, let that go, exhale. And bring hands to prayer. And then with hands together, start to rub them together. Creating your own heat, your own friction. Keep rubbing, and then take the palms of your hands and press them into your eyelids. Feel the heat you've generated. Feel the energy within the body. Take your hands back to heart center and we'll move through one more sun salutation, A. Arms extend high. Fold to bow. Lift and lengthen. Bend knees, ground palms. Option to take one more dip of the hips, right and left. Maybe start to bring your energy down a little bit. Knees can come down, be a bit more passive as you lower. Cobra or upward dog. And let's all meet hips to heels, child's pose. In your child's pose, bring your palms together in prayer. Try to sink your chest down. If you'd like to make this a bit more active, you can take your fingertips, reach them towards the sky, keep the elbows pressing down, chest sinking through your arms. Full cycle of breath. Release the arms. Come into table. Knees under the hips, adjusting them. Start to flow through slowly and mindfully, cat-cows, belly dropping, chest coming up. Hollow to round. Heavy through your head. As you take these next few cycles, I'm really inviting you to move slower than you even think you should. You even close your eyes to watch every small detail of moving consciously with the body, with your breath. Our yin portion of practice slows down. We'll hold postures for a longer period of time. Even through that discomfort of having to remain still, if you want to fidget, do your absolute best to remain still. Maintain the integrity of the pose, the intention of that sometimes through stillness we can find profound insight on the body-mind. Remind yourself of the intention of what are we here to fight for. What does stillness even protect? Come to flat back or neutral. And you'll make your way onto the bum. Legs stretch out into a wider V. Point your toes up. Maybe rock yourself even forward or back, side to side, to feel both of those prominent bones in your bum rooting into the earth. Press the hands back behind you to rock forward and lift up. Stay here if that's enough sensation through the inner thighs. Or start to walk yourself forward. One day being able to come down onto forearms. Deep breath in. Sigh breath out. We're here for 2 or 3 minutes. Be aware as the discomfort comes in. Is the discomfort in your mind or the body? And then can you come back to honoring the position in stillness with more ease? If you're reminded of the intention. Count 10 more breaths. Maybe soften where you can soften, relaxing your jawline, your palms, your shoulders. There is a purpose and intention behind your stillness. Can you be quiet enough to hear it? In the next few breaths, really deepen, preparing for movement. Press up into your hands. Use your hands to close the legs like a book. Shimmy yourself forward to the top of your mat
Before you come to lay down, be sure you've got that pillow or bolster, something with you that will help to elevate your hips. And then take your time to roll yourself down. From the back, sway your knees side to side. And drop the knees to the right for a moment. Hold for a breath in and out. And then shift the legs the opposite direction. Feet plant to center. Look between the knees. And the feet and knees are hip distance apart. Again, the inner edge, not the outer edge. Ground firmly through the feet. Lift your hips up just enough to slide your pillow, blanket, bolster underneath the pelvis. And then thinking of the placement, those prominent hip bones at the front of your body. If you traced a line around to the back of the body, that's exactly where you want your prop. Supported. Supported bridge pose. Hands can rest on the abdomen. They can stretch out by your sides. Sometimes it feels good to reach the arms overhead. Full breath in. And sigh breath out. Land in your stillness. Know that there's purpose behind stillness. Take 5 more deep breaths. If your arms are overhead, bring them down by your sides. Activate your legs, press into your feet. Support yourself to lift your hips up, move your pillow out of the way. Then roll yourself down. Windshield wipe knees side to side. Letting that go through the lower back, releasing through the sacrum and hips. And then transition yourself into final resting pose, Shavasana. Just as we started, the legs move to the outer edges of your mat, palms face the sky. Eyes closed, awareness inwards. Letting go of the breath. Letting go of sensation. Simply let your body be exactly as it is. Absorb the intention of your practice. Know that my voice will guide you back. Deepen your breath, but remain still. Longer inhales, deeper exhales. The body, the mind, and the breath coming back together in this waking state. And as you gently start to move fingers and toes, individually but also collectively, we all have a purpose right now. We all have something to fight for. We're all resilient. And there's ways in which that we need to be still. There's ways we need to be active. When you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll onto your right or left side. Use your arm as a pillow. Make your way into seated. Create a tall seat for yourself. Rock forward, lengthen your spine, crown of your head reaches. And then a breath upright. A sounded inhale, audible exhale. Hands to prayer to acknowledge one another for arriving in this collective space together. Thank you for honoring me with today's class. Namaste.